So finally we are doing this, and it is so difficult to convince the two of you to come on camera. Like,
Not me.
not true. So yes, before we start our jazz, which we are going to talk about, this is Shweta, this is Vaishnavi, and we are here to bring in some meaningful conversations which could also help you understand certain aspects, and I hope that you guys are able to identify yourselves with it, because this idea just struck me one day when I was having my girls' time with the two of them, and we landed up chatting about so many things which gave me so many ideas. So I just thought, let's do this.
Yeah.
And it is so important that we voice ourselves sometimes and have these chats with people who understand us, right?
I know, right? And with the whole work from home culture, people have forgotten to, just sit, relax, and talk to their friends.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it's so important because then you let things out that you didn't even know were there.
Obviously, yeah, I totally get
What
that.
do you understand, or what do you have to say about that as a therapist?
So half of my clients who come to me, they are all about talking. Like, they just want to talk. Now, as a kid myself, I always wanted to talk, and the best thing that you want is to talk to your parents, but that usually is not possible because even they have a life, and as a kid you don't understand that.
Yeah.
So it develops into something which we sometimes even fail to understand, that what kind of repercussions it can have on you as you grow up.
Right. So I agree to the point where you said as a kid, because we talk so much in childhood,
Yeah.
and then as we grow, we forget that talking is so important.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Actually, see, that's the whole point, which is why I wanted to do this, because it is very relatable to so many people. Like, as in, like, I've been dealing with so many clients where I have seen certain people who come to me, and I see that they always are in this quest to prove a point.
Correct.
And I was also confused with this guy, like, who had come to me for a session once, that he just wanted to prove himself, even though what he was doing was not making him happy, but still he wanted to do it. Now, after 3-4 sessions of talking and understanding is when we figured out that this guy just went through a sense of neglect as a kid, and he was constantly compared by other people.
Yeah.
And he landed up in a place where he just became all about comparisons, and all he thought of was that, okay, am I better than this? Am I better than this person? Am I better than that person? So
It is more like that Sharma ji ka beta and Sharma ji ki beti sort of.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
We are compared to
even
each other.
like, and it has such a huge impact on us, we don't even realize.
Yeah.
You get that? I mean, I mean, and it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions to actually identify this problem, because it becomes so deep rooted and it is so psychological that we don't even understand it, and that leads to so many other things like lack of self-confidence, because you're not doing something that you like doing. Right? So it is like that, and all of it stems from what if that guy went to his parents and just said that, hey, I don't want to be compared by others, and don't stop doing this to me, and I want to do what I want to do. So if that space is empty, that person will be able to figure out his or her calling, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's that.
So what do you suggest to children who are not talking so much?
See, firstly, I mean, if you can fix it as a kid only, the problem is solved. But the whole reason why we are having this chat, and the reason why I'm in this profession also, is because you don't get to do it as a kid.
Right.
Right?
Because
So,
when you're a child, you don't know how to do stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
It should actually be the parent who, takes a step forward and makes the child so comfortable that they can talk to them.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just that, you want your parent to just come and talk to you and ask you if everything is okay or not. Even if the child is hesitant at first, he won't open up, she won't open up. But later, they might.
Having
Because they
conversations
have-
is
yeah.
very important, and we
Yeah.
forget that it is so important, right?
no, I have something to tell you as well.
Okay.
See, I get it that as a parent, sometimes they fail. I mean, as per our language, they fail. But try to understand that where do they come from when they are parenting you? They are coming from a place of whatever they've missed as a kid. They would just want to first make sure that I'm providing that.
Yeah.
Right? So in that quest, they don't understand that my kid is different from my childhood. So if I am the parent and I have a kid, so I need to understand that this kid is different. So I need to spend more time just to understand what kind of a kid do I have. And our parents don't do that. Usually what happens is, okay, when we talk about parents in general, what happens is that they are thinking, okay, I wanted to buy something and I couldn't buy that, so I'll make sure that my kid doesn't face the same problem.
Yeah.
Right.
In that quest, the parent forgets that okay, I
The
will be
kid
able
can become greedy.
Yeah.
Sort of. you
Yeah.
know, I'm always getting what I want.
Yeah. So anyway, it's like a circle of life. So there are problems, there are solutions, but the whole thing is that if we just, the day we just understand that there are problems that need to be addressed, I think your journey to becoming a better individual just starts from there.
Absolutely.
Like if we talk about this whole problem of infidelity, like this I've come across with multiple clients, that you wouldn't believe it, it comes from childhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is surprising.
So, I mean, it's really difficult to understand this thing because it is a very deep-rooted reason. Now, when we talk about infidelity, okay, as we grow up in time, what happens is that we've missed out on certain things, okay, and usually as we grow up, we are seeking for those missed out things in our life outside. Okay. So what happens is that, for example, I land up in a marriage with someone and that marriage is fine, but there's still something missing. And a person who has gone through a sense of lack as a kid, who hasn't gotten the love that he or she wanted, will land up in infidelity because the husband and wife relationship that he or she has will be a conditioning that okay, this is husband and wife relationship, this is done, this is sorted. Now this person who has gone through a sense of lack will constantly keep seeking what was missing here in his or her childhood, and with clients I've seen this, that it goes in circles. Like for example, I mean there's nothing to do with gender bias here, but I'll just bring this up that usually in Indian society, men are like brought up in a way where they are asked to be tough. They are asked to be like,
you can't cry.
Yeah, you can't cry.
Yeah.
That's like too trending right now, that you can't cry.
As a man, you're not supposed to cry. It's a girl's thing.
Yeah, and usually their mothers do this to them. Usually, this is what I've seen with my experience. So what happens is that he's also a kid. He too needs love. He too needs hugs. He too needs kisses like a kid.
Every kid needs to
Every-
experience every emotion.
Yes.
You cannot, hinder them from experiencing a certain emotion.
Yes. So
just because sometimes parents are uncomfortable with it.
Totally. So here, what I wanted to bring up was that this man or this kid who is seeking for love, okay, is not getting that love from his mother, okay. So he's made peace with it because, as you said, that we're too young to even understand that okay, I'm supposed to say this to my mother, right? So he just keeps quiet. His needs, basically his need to be loved and to be hugged, he suppresses that. And on the other hand, he's also taught that you're not supposed to express yourself. You're a man.
I think all this boils down to the part that we're not communicating.
Yeah.
Even with
So-
the examples that you gave about being loved, about all of this, if there was enough communication between the parent and the child, I think that would stop there itself, right?
Obviously, so that's what I'm saying. That's what circle of life is.
Yeah.
Now coming back to that example that I was saying, now this kid hasn't got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what happens is he lands up in a marriage, which is fine. Now in a marriage, his expectations will be very high because he's had a lack mentality as a kid. So as a partner who he gets married to, how much will that partner provide? That partner also has a life. So again, his needs are unfulfilled.
So he's asking for a mother, a father, or whatever was lacking from the partner
So
itself.
that's what leads to infidelity.
Right.
He starts blaming his wife that okay, you are not complete, you are not this, I don't
So
get
the
the
partner
love.
has to play like multiple roles,
Exactly.
and the partner is definitely not going
And
to
that
play
is the
multiple
reason
roles.
for the major problems in marriage, and I've seen this.
Yeah.
So again, that's what we are talking about today, that literally your childhood frames your future self. And with this lack mentality, this man will go out and he also has pain inside him because he didn't get what he wanted from his mother. So what's going to happen is that he will go around like probably looking for that same figure and then hurting those people.
Yeah.
It's that deep rooted.
And it's like a pattern.
Yeah.
Like it keeps happening. And sometimes some people realize it that, this has been happening with me in every relationship I get in.
Yeah.
So sometimes they understand, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they are, too much of themselves.
Yes.
They don't understand.
So cracking this pattern, see, your pattern is also framed by your childhood and your family line. You carry certain things from your family line.
Yeah.
Certain, like we say, right? It's in your DNA. What is in your DNA? What
More
your
like
parents
nature,
are carrying.
or naturally what we are
Exactly.
getting from
Yeah.
there.
So breaking free from that pattern and identifying your pattern is also very important.
Right.
Firstly, you identify, then you break free from it.
Yeah.
And like we
What
were
what do you say? How do a person who has identified that okay, this is my pattern, this I have been doing to myself, how do I break this?
So in that case, like the way I'm dealing with the clients who come to me for therapy, firstly, it is boiling down from childhood. And majority, I can say 95% of such cases are like this. Unless you're a psycho, you wouldn't go land up in infidelity, right? You have something that has not been met with that is leading to this. So it's simple. If the kid goes and addresses it with the parent directly, the problem is solved.
In the adult phase.
In the adult phase. So the whole point is that as a kid you couldn't do it, so do it as an adult, but just do it whenever you realize it. That go and say.
But
that
you need to communicate at the end because you need to break free from the
Vaishnavi just wants to communicate, dude.
pattern.
We will talk more often.
Yeah.
What do you say if I'm the person, I talk to my parents and communication is done, but I don't feel satisfied?
So then in that case, see, try to understand that you build a pattern after a very long time. Like it took a while for you to reach that level. So it will take some time for you to come down the stairs also.
And I want to answer that because it's like a whole childhood of trauma, whatever you've been through. So expectations will be a lot. So I think we need to set boundaries and we should understand that it's going to take a while to reach that satisfaction.
Yeah, which is why the whole
It's going to take
therapy that I have is at least for 2 months. Minimum 2 months. Otherwise, we can't achieve that goal because along with that, so what happens is, like, I'll just give you a very quick example. Like if you have digestive issues, so and if you don't address it, with time, because of that digestive issue, you will develop multiple more things. No?
Correct.
So it's the same thing. Like you had this issue of not being loved by your mother, and because you ignored that need and you chose not to put it out. And there can be multiple reasons for that. That yes, I mean, I can't talk, I don't know right now how to speak to my mother or something. That leads to a lot of things. I will suppress my feelings. So even in his relationships, he will end up not saying how he feels.
Correct.
So that leads to another problem. Then in some cases, you will see that person not respecting women in general.
Yeah, that happens more often in
yeah.
women,
So that and that is bizarre because probably the man doesn't even want to do it, but he lands up doing it because he doesn't feel it from inside. So gives rise to multiple things which have to be fixed at multiple levels, which is why the first step is going and addressing it with the parent. So what you do is you remove the root cause of the problem. Like I'm pretty much, I mean, if I remove this table, all of this will fall. It's that.
It's like a radical reaction.
Yes,
also.
yes.
Both ways, when it's negative and when it's positive.
At least when you remove that root cause, you would at least know that the other things that have developed are a part of a problem. So then you start addressing it slowly. So removing those things is easier. The reason why you don't feel, when you say that I don't feel satisfied, it could be because you've developed so many other things with it that those things are not addressed yet. So it will take some time for
that is just
us
the
to
first
reach there.
step to
Yes.
It's not the ultimate.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we should do this more often, right?
Yes. This was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
We've
So I
understood a lot of
think
things,
pretty much I can promise this to my audience that we will do one more video again and more to come.
Yes.
Alright, so I'll see you guys. Hopefully, if I'm able to convince the two of them to come on record and do this. It is fun, and please let us know in your in the comment section if you like this, and we will
give it a thumbs up also.
Yes, and if you have some suggestions on certain things that you want us to discuss and have a chat, please let us know
on the comments.
Yes.
Yeah.
So bye
Bye,
guys.
bye.